Welcome back! Today we're going to make a zine in less than an hour. So I'm going to show you guys a really simple zine format you can use to either make a final zine or just to test out some ideas for a more polished zine that you want to make. For this project, you need minimal materials and minimal time, so it's a great way to just experiment with the zine and see if it's a process that you're interested in pursuing. If you don't know what a zine is, it's basically a small book that can take many different forms, but it's a great way to get into independent publishing. So let's start off with gathering some materials. For the making of the zine, you will need only 3 things, which are a sheet of A4 paper, some kind of drawing utensil. For me, I really like this Sigma Flow liquid permanent marker, and some scissors. And of course, when we get ready to print our zine, you might want a scanner and a printer for that, or you can also use your phone and print it at a copy shop or something. So there's really low pressure in terms of the tools you need to create this. So many of you might already know this format, but I'll also show you how to fold it in case you don't. And we're gonna create our zine in under 1 hour using ideas and images that we already have with our handy dandy phone. So if you're anything like me, you probably take a lot of photos on your phone, and maybe even subconsciously, you've been collecting lots of images on this thing for years and years of your life. We're gonna do a quick look through of our phone, and basically we're going to take images from this and put them into our zine. But since I'm an illustrator, I'm going to be illustrating all of my images. If illustration isn't up your alley, you can still do this project by printing out your photos and cutting them up and kind of doing a collage. So let's go ahead, get to this table. We'll start with folding our piece of paper, and we will start our timer for an hour or less. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's start by making our zine format. I'm gonna start my timer now. Okay, so we're gonna take a piece of paper. If you remember hot dog and hamburger style folding, if you're American maybe, we're gonna basically fold this piece of paper 3 times. So first, we're gonna fold it hot dog style, like this. You can use your hand, or you can also use some kind of bone folder, which is this tool here to help you make a nice crease. Totally optional though. Then unfold. Then we're gonna do hamburger, so fold it in half again the other way. And then I like to fold it again in half, but if you want your paper folding to be very precise, you can fold it either side in towards the center. This, so one side is folded in, and then, so now you have 8 squares, and those are gonna be our 8 pages. So if we fold it back in half, this hamburger style, we're gonna cut from the folded edge, so here's the folded side, up to the center point. Carefully, as carefully as you can. Okay, so I cut like this. Now I have a little hole in the middle. Now if I fold it back in half like a hot dog, I can start to make this little diamond shape. So I want to push that diamond together like this. So push everything together, and now you'll see I have like this little cross. And you're just gonna fold that into a book. Now it's this like 4-page book. Basically what we're gonna do is take our pen, and we're gonna use this as our drawing tool. So I really like this exercise because it's really low pressure. You don't feel a lot of pressure to make something perfect because you just have this little scrap of paper and a pen. I recommend when you look through your phone for images and inspiration that you maybe think about a theme just quickly. So are you gonna do all of the food you ate on a certain trip? Are you gonna do buildings that you've seen that you like. I would recommend kind of choosing a loose theme, and you can usually come up with one pretty quickly if you just look through your photos and see what you have a lot of pictures of. But recently I did go on a trip to Tokyo, so I think I'm gonna be drawing a lot of pictures from my trip. I'm just gonna look through my phone and kind of see on the trip like what photos stood out to me. I'm not gonna be super selective. I'm just gonna, if I see one that I like, I'm gonna go ahead, click on it, and I'm gonna start drawing on this. I thought I would talk through some of my tips for if you're also drawing your own little zine, things that kind of make it go by faster and things that make the process a little easier. So the first thing is I tend to draw little frames. So I, on the page, draw a little like rectangle just to enclose the space where I'll actually be illustrating. And I feel like that helps just ground what I'm drawing and kind of make a smaller space so it's a little more manageable. You can even divide your page into a couple different smaller squares or just have a smaller square on one page. So there's no need to completely fill up the page every single time, and that can actually add a little bit of visual interest. And also as a bonus, it makes filling the pages go by a bit faster because you are just filling less space versus if I didn't have this frame and I just tried to fill the entirety of every page. Another thing you can use is little bits of text to fill in space. So as you can see on the front and back, I just have a little bit of simple text. And in the middle, I kind of had this awkward space in between these two rectangles. So I just wrote a little text about my walk, or like what this scene kind of represents, which was a walk from Shibuya to Ebisu during my travel there the last weekend. And the last thing I want to say is it's kind of important the tool you end up using to draw. So obviously for this scene I used a thicker marker and also a permanent marker so I couldn't erase or like go over what I was doing. Of course I could always use whiteout, but I would encourage you to use a tool that you can't erase and try to just accept and work with any mistakes or any imperfections you might have. Like there are plenty of times since I'm just drawing and eyeballing a reference picture where I couldn't fit in everything I wanted, or I was kind of limited in what I could draw because maybe I messed up the perspective or the sizing of something. But I think it's good practice to just try to work with that versus trying to make everything perfect, and it will also shorten the time it takes you to finish drawing. Okay, so now that we've finished this, and I also have this one that I produced the other day. Actually, I was trying to more so use it as a sketching tool, and that's also something that these can be useful for, is just producing 8 or more images in a short amount of time and filling your sketchbook up a little bit more efficiently. Okay, so I'm just gonna plop this into the scanner and I'll let it do its thing. When I scanned it in, it still has the paper line marks, and that might be something that you actually want to keep if you like the look of it. For me, I'm just going to go ahead and clean those up with the paintbrush tool, just with some white, and I'm also going to adjust the levels because the scan is, the paper isn't truly white and the marker isn't truly black, and I want it to be higher contrast for when I print it. So I'm just going to go ahead and make those couple of changes, and then we can head to the printer. So I have some paper here. I had ordered this a long time ago, and it's this kind of craft paper colored paper stock, but it has a really nice feel, so I feel like this would be kind of nice to print the zine on, since I'm just going to do one color for each zine. A lot of people print zines on regular photocopiers, laser printers, inkjet printers, and you can kind of play around with different paper types or colors, other elements like that to make it feel a little special. Okay, we have finished our prints, which look like this. This is the commuting zine, the one I had already done, and our one from today looks something like this. I really like how printing on this paper makes it feel a little more special. For context though, this is what it looks like on the regular paper. The printing only took around a minute, so the folding of a zine should be pretty fast too. And that is it for these two little zines. This is the one I had made around 2 weeks ago, and this is the one from today. In total, folding one of these takes around a minute or less, so that brings us to around the 58-minute mark to make this from beginning to end. And if you unfold it, it looks something like this. But yeah, these are very easy to put together. For me, I think I will just give these away or put them in little orders since I have a bunch of them left over. And yeah, these are just super fun to make, not only as a little zine project, but just to do something creative in under an hour as an alternative to your regular sketchbook. And I will break all of this down in written form and with some pictures in my Patreon. So if you want some more behind the scenes content, some more images of the stuff I work on, and maybe pictures of my dog, my cute dog that's down here occasionally, check out my Patreon down below. But I will see you guys very soon, and till then, have a good day. Bye.